banks are hugely invested in real estate. That's the biggest thing that almost all banks own. Real estate markets are still falling. And so anytime you have the value of what the banks own getting less and less, you're going to have banks failing. And that's what we've seen. We've seen the pace picking up this year. We had, I believe, 10 banks in January fail, and now we had 19 fail so far this year going into Friday. And it's expected to go higher. So it's going to be a nasty second half of the year. A lot more banks are probably going to fail. There are a lot of small community banks are failing, especially ones in states that have had a lot of foreclosures. Georgia has seen a lot of bank failures. California, of course, because that's where the real estate bubble has been worst. And we're going to see it more in other parts of the country, too, just because as real estate keeps falling, you have more losses on banks' books, and there's not that much they can do about it. What the regulators try to do is they try to find someone who will take over the bank. The regulators will give them some guarantees against losses, and they do some things like that. But it's hard because there's a lot of banks failing right now, and so there's a lot of options for people who want to get into the banking industry, and a lot of people do, to drive the best deal. And so the regulators have to deal with that, and they also have to deal with limited resources. The FDIC deposit fund has been under a lot of pressure. It's not going to go out of business, and depositors are not ever going to be wiped out in one of these deals, but it just means that there's more money that has to be raised in the banking industry. Well, it just shows how much of a problem the recovery is going to be. I think that we're seeing that the worst of the recession is probably over. We've probably seen the crisis period end. But it's going to take a long time to clean this up. It's going to take years and years. In the 80s, we had a lot of bank failures. We're not anywhere in the same region as that right now. But we're going to see probably hundreds of banks fail, and some people think more. And that's just going to exact a lot of costs over the next few years. And that's one of the reasons why people expect the recovery to be weak.